Welcome to this edition of the Desert Vision. I'm Sergeant David Graves.
And I'm Sergeant Bethany Huff.
Coming up, the Army Nurse Corps celebrates a birthday. We take a first-hand look at unique equipment at the Kuwait Naval Base, and we have two special guests from the 335th for Black History Month.
But first, we're going to go to Camp Buring, where the 511th Engineer Dive Detachment is doing what they do best, blowing stuff up.
Balancing that technical training specific to diving, we wanted to practice a tactical approach with a tactical maneuver onto the demo range, identifying the target, and then breaching and reducing an obstacle.
Okay, let me know when you want to break out the special weapon.
Diver competency starts on land. If you can't weld on surface, you can't weld underwater. If you can't set demolition on land, you can't set demolition underwater.
Set security on the far side.
So we're moving on a tactical patrol down to conduct the leader's reconnaissance and ensure that we have good, accurate information about what charges to make in order to reduce the obstacle and reach the objective.
Reconsolidate, take what you need.
Then once we set local security, I moved up with my Bangalore and grappling hook team.
Cover me while I move.
So that we had a positive idea of what the target looked like and what obstacles we need to breach.
Set.
With that information, we returned back to the ORP and we were able to build the charges and prepare our soldiers to go and actually conduct the breach. We had a lot of good initiative by our junior soldiers and junior NCOs to be able to conduct and execute this live fire demolition exercise.
Oh, got it.
We laid in C4 to be able to clear the minefield, and we are now priming our way back to a safe distance to be able to blow the shot.
Primed in.
The 511th has prepared quite a bit. The pre-deployment training was very challenging and aggressive. We look forward to employing our capabilities with underwater demolition and underwater salvage.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Anywhere that ASG Kuwait or ARCENT needs Army divers to complete the mission.
All right, guys, let's go.
During their training, one of the soldiers cut his hand and needed 11 stitches. Sergeant Marty Borton is at the Kuwait Naval Base to see this different kind of treatment.
It's going to continue to rise because you got it so close.
Soldiers of the 511th Engineer Dive Detachment conduct hyperbaric chamber training at the Kuwait Naval Base, Kuwait. Members of the Dive Detachment utilize the chamber for pressure training and for medical treatments.
Today we are doing a little bit of training and a little bit of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. One of our soldiers had a deep laceration in his hand, and we are doing some hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which means we're having our soldier breathe a higher partial pressure of oxygen to help stimulate the healing of the wound. Simultaneously, we're training some of our E5 sergeants, preparing them for Advanced Leaders Course in Panama City, Florida, which is Army First Class Diver School.
This kind of training is excellent. It's benefiting our unit. It's preparing guys like me for the next level, but ultimately this affects everyone.
Patients in the hyperbaric chamber are monitored by medically trained personnel and are certified and trained to provide medical treatment, including intravenous procedures. Soldiers of the Dive Detachment also receive training on monitoring oxygen and pressure levels inside the chamber.
Inside the chamber traveling.
Let me know when you left the surface.
Basically, their lives are in my hands when I'm running the console. If they were to lose pressure all of a sudden, it could cause health problems, AG, if they were to lose pressure suddenly. So it's very important that I maintain awareness at the console. It's important for me to continue training just so that I have better technical knowledge to keep my fellow divers safe when I'm doing such tasks as manning the console.
Through training, the 511th is ready to provide support to the U.S. Army Central's mission. For U.S. Army Central, I'm Army Sergeant Marty Borton.
Understand?
The hyperbaric chamber is the only one of its kind in Kuwait. Our sit down with the 335th coming up next.
I can't do this anymore. I can't do us. No, what's wrong with you? It's not
You are dealing with pain, anger, a heaviness. It feels like there is no way out. It seems like you are in this by yourself, battling alone. But you are part of one Army family, shoulder to shoulder with a community there to get you through these hard times. There is no shame, no guilt in seeking out help. So if you are struggling, feeling depressed, or even having thoughts of suicide, it is time to talk to someone. Your Army family is committed to finding you the strength and hope you need to rebound from adversity. Because, above all else, our most essential resource is you.
Do you need to take the air assault course while deployed? Looks like you might get that chance. Photojournalist Sergeant Marco Gutierrez talks about the construction that is now going on in Kuwait.
Key operations, planning, training, and safety personnel from the U.S. Army Central visited the new air assault course at Camp Buehring, Kuwait. The visit was one of the final inspections to take place before the school begins accepting its first students. Sergeant First Class Tim Nungester, the senior non-commissioned officer for the air assault course, visited the site to inspect the quality of the training grounds. The course will provide military personnel in the Central Command Theater of Operations the unique opportunity to become air assault qualified.
And welcome back. We are still talking Black History Month here at Camp Arif John. I'm joined now by Sergeant Major Carol Himes with the United States Army Regional Cyber Center, Southwest Asia. It's a mouthful, I gotta tell you. Very important work they're doing, though. Talking today about Black History Month with Sergeant Major. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Now, we'll jump right into it. First, if you could tell me, why is Black History Month important for you?
So Black History Month is important to me because it allows us to recognize the African American trailblazers, and it also allows us to become more educated and familiar for those who have already set the pavement for us.
Okay. And I understand you have a civil figure you would like to speak about specifically today.
Yes, I do. So today I'd like to speak about Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks has a saying that says, do the right thing. And so in the military, as a leader, we adhere to doing the right thing, and we're always enforcing doing the right things with our soldiers.
Okay. And doing the right thing, she has a very famous story that's been told all over the world. Tell me your side of that story.
So the story I'd like to share today would be back in 1955 when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama. The believed law was you must give up your seat if a white person entered the bus and there was no seats available.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also another rule that most people noticed to be unknown was, regardless of the color of your skin, no one had to give up their seat. So Rosa Parks, her stance was, I'm not giving up my seat today.
So for her, it wasn't illegal. It was still legally allowed for her to remain seated in her exact spot, and there should have been nothing that police could have done about it.
Absolutely. However, she was arrested, and she was found guilty.
All right, and that covers Rosa Parks. Is there a message you have for your soldiers to go along with Black History Month?
So my message to the soldiers today would be, just as Rosa Parks' famous quote was, always do the right thing, regardless.
That's our look into Black History Month. Again, Sergeant Major, thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.
Relax, relax. You all tense. Kind of buff, too.
You want to change my oil? I mean, you know, I'm just saying.
I know you. You got a promotion board coming up, right?
Roger.
Roger, okay. Want to make those points? I can help you out if you need the help. All you gotta do is call. It's all about who you know. You act like you scared. I ain't gonna hurt you.
Yes, ma'am.
He's a peach.
Sometimes in combat, it's important to roll in the big guns. To make sure that they're ready when called, strikers from the 2nd Engineer Battalion hone their skills at the range. Striker training is broken into different portions called tables. Each one is built for the soldiers to gain confidence in their weapon system, qualification known as Table 6. Master Gunner Staff Sergeant Gregory Jones was pleased to see the scores grow each day.
It's actually going pretty good, a lot better than Table 5 and Table 4. The scores are getting exponentially better as they go along.
Sergeant Jones loved the fact that the strikers were able to take advantage of the land and space for their long-range training.
We got a great opportunity to go out here. We got land, we got ammunition, make sure that we got trained, proficient crews in order to go out there and be a lethal fighting force.
At the end of the day, every member of the striker team qualified.
Area Support Group Kuwait conducted an active shooter exercise at ARF John recently to test the capabilities of the emergency service responders.
During this exercise, a breach in our fence will be discovered, and then as part of that, we're going to see how the installation as a whole reacts to that situation. And then during the course of that situation, there will also be an active shooter event here in the main part of Zone 1. So the goal of this exercise is to assess the Directorate of Emergency Services' ability to work as a combined team through our emergency services, our fire, and our police response capabilities. So exercises like this are very critical to the installation because it gives us an opportunity not only to practice what we have trained on, but to give the commander a realistic picture of what he can expect from the DES.
Right here is good. We're able to sit in.
So these exercises impact the ARCENT's mission because it gives the ARCENT as a whole the peace of mind to know that in any emergency situation, the DES can handle it.
Coming up, the Nurse Corps celebrates a birthday, and we work hand in hand with Jordanian forces. Right after this.
Once a soldier.
A soldier for life.
Welcome back to Desert Vision. Photojournalist Sergeant Tommy Wade was on hand to witness a milestone in the Army Nurse Corps.
The 31st Combat Support Hospital honored the Army Nurses Corps' 116th birthday with a host of festivities on February 2nd. The day began with a 5K run, to which Sergeant First Class Edwin Ocasio emerged as the winner. Soon afterwards, Colonel John Elzey, 3rd Medical Deployment and Sustainment Command, spoke to the soldiers about the importance of their job to the Army. The day ended with the first annual lip sync competition, to which there were no losers among the many groups.
The Nurse Corps hopes to make this birthday run an annual event.
U.S. Army Central joined their Jordanian counterparts for a training exercise recently. Sergeant Jessica Forrester was in Jordan for the event.
Officers from the 3rd Armored Brigade Combat Team, 1st Armored Division, and the Jordanian Armed Forces Arab Army 30th Special Mission Brigade gathered at the Joint Training Center in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan for Exercise Eager Light 17. The annual training event brings U.S. and Jordanian soldiers together to collaborate and improve communication skills between countries and their own organizations.
Bottom line, these sort of exercises builds capacity and builds capability within our partners and allies here in the region, and allows us to assist in regional security and stability.
Exercise Eager Light gives officers the opportunity to interact with JAV forces and solidify the U.S.-Jordanian partnership while reacting to hypothetical combat scenarios.
Is what it really amounts to is it allows us an opportunity to build interoperability with yet another ally. And because we continue to work with different countries and different techniques, it builds a better depth inside of my team and how we conduct coalition operations in support of ARCENT. For ARCENT itself, it shows how well can the entire ARCENT staff think as a theater army in support of the entire CENTCOM AOR.
The event concluded with a ceremony and gift exchange between the partner nations. For U.S. Army Central, I'm Army Sergeant Jessica Forrester.
Eager Light is a preparation exercise for Eager Lion, a multinational event between U.S. ARCENT and its partner nations.
And that'll do it for this edition of the Desert Vision. For these stories and more, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/US Army Central.
And at our YouTube channel at youtube.com/US Army Central.
For Army Central Command, I am Sergeant Bethany Huff.
And I'm Sergeant David Graves. Thank you for watching.